Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Aunt Lara and I want to use this opportunity to say thank you to all of my 530 subscribers. You're rock. So let's get started. So as you all know that we've been on second class citizen, this particular text. So for today's lesson, we are going to be dwelling on the character analysis and some practice questions on Adah. So basically, I'm not going to cover all the characters. I'll probably just mention or make a video tutorial on, say, 4 characters, and then we'll move to the themes and we'll move on to the next text. Let's get started. So remember that I told you in my previous video, please, if you have not watched my previous videos, please go and watch it. Remember I told you that it is not enough for you to know everything about a particular text. You must know how to answer literature in English question. You don't just say, oh, okay, this is the question, and then you start writing. There are steps, there are guidelines which you must follow. And if you miss those steps, if you miss those compulsory paragraphs, then you are missing out of your marks, which I know that you don't want to do. Okay, so like I said in my other videos, you can pass literature effortlessly only if you follow the rules. And the rule is, 1, for any question that you are asked, you must start your first paragraph with the theme. So we are dealing with Adah, right? So we are not just going to start talking about Adah and the things that she did and how she contributed to the plot. No, we are going to pick it from what? From what? From the theme. Okay, so the theme here is determination and hard work. You are going to talk about how Adah was determined enough to get herself through school, even to the point where she had to hide 2 shillings and becoming a better version of herself, as against the perception about women being restricted to the kitchen. We are just going to talk about how Adah was determined and how much hard work she put into realizing her goals. So the second paragraph, you're not going to describe Adah. See, if you're asked to talk about a particular character and the name of that character is in the please go and watch my previous videos. If you are new here, go and watch my previous video, because I don't want to waste time here, right? So the second paragraph is character description. So basically, she's the first child of Pa and Maofili and has a brother named Boy. She's married to Francis and is mother of Titi, Vicky, Bubu, and Dada, and she works as a librarian. Okay, that is a character description, right? Then you now talk about her roles. What are the things that she did? Okay, so paragraph 3, you now start to mention her roles. Paragraph 3, paragraph 4, paragraph 5, you understand? But you must always end your essay with the significance. So let's go. She's determined and stubborn. She goes to school without her parents' consent, thereby making her mom drink garri as punishment. She hides 2 shillings so as to be able to pay for her entrance examination into secondary school and refuse to tell her cousin Vincent, even though she is flogged severally. All of this is still under this point. These are evidences and analysis here. Now, another point, she breaks the jinx of being a second-class citizen, okay? And then you go on to explain how she did that, okay? So, by deciding to write a novel, she insists on a white-collar job and ends well as a woman. That's you explaining how she breaks the jinx of being a second-class citizen. And the third point is she's courageous and bold. And, of course, you're going to explain to us why she's courageous. She refuses to give up on the search of a house. She refuses to give her children up. When she gets to England, she leaves Francis and rents an apartment for herself and her children. Okay. Another point is she's a caring wife. She pays for Francis's education, caters for all of his sisters and parents. She keeps loving Francis, hoping that one day he will reciprocate the love, which he never did, right? So another point, she is a loving mother. Under this point, you're going to explain how she is a loving mother. She cares for her children by herself and makes sure they do not lack. She's willing to beat up Trudy for neglecting her children. She notices Titi's unusual silence. She becomes very worried about Vicky's ear infection. Of course, you end with the significance. I'm not going to waste time on it because I believe that you've been following my previous video, so you understand this, right? So just go to significance, and the significance is what if you are to write about the significance, what should come to your mind is, why did they use this character? What message did they try to pass with this character, right? So that should be, or that should lead you to what to write for your significance, right? So Adah's character is used to project the challenges faced by females, that's a typo, within a patriarchal society. Okay, remember that in Ibuza, she was not even given education, right? Because they feel that, oh, women end up in the kitchen, so there's no point wasting money on their education. And of course, preference was given to boy, Adah's brother. Okay, and of course, through Adah going through all of these challenges, all of these ordeals, they wanting to marry her off to an old man, okay, what she went through at our cousin's house, you know, and all of that. Okay, so is all of this is just to project the challenges that is faced by females in a patriarchal society where men are given the upper end, right? And of course, she's also used to change the narrative that a girl child is equally as important as a boy child. So we see Adah overcoming all of these challenges, overcoming all of these ordeals, and at the end of the day, she became a better version of herself, as against the perception that females do not do well, or that females only perform well when they are under their husbands, right? And so we'll see that Adah do not only do well for herself, she also broke the jinx. Like, see, I can do fine by myself even without a man, okay? And it's just her action, or her leaving Francis, is just to show, or to tell the readers, to tell the audience going through the same ordeal, that you don't necessarily have to be where you are not loved. You don't necessarily have to be where you are being sucked dry, okay? You don't necessarily have to be where you are constantly being looked down on, all right? You can actually live and still be okay, even though it is against the tradition, especially in Ibuza, that a woman will leave a man. And that was why Francis had to go back to Adah's new apartment to beat her up, that Ibuza women never leaves, and that his mother, even though his father always beat up his mother, that his mother never leave his father. And so Adah does not have any right to leave him, even with the way that he was maltreating Adah. Adah represented this character that refused, or that challenged all the status quo, and became a better person regardless, just to change the narrative that what a man can do, well, a girl child can also do that. Well, even better. Okay, so let's go to GC, WAEC, NECO practice questions on Adah. These are some practice questions that we could just, or you can practice on your own on the character of Adah. All right, so you can see question like examine Adah as a determined character. If you see this question, of course, your theme should be determination, since you have this in your question already. So your first paragraph should be your theme, determination, hard work. Your second paragraph should be on character analysis of Adah. Your third and your subsequent paragraph should be on how Adah showed determination. Okay, what did she do to get herself to school, even though her mom was punished for it? Okay, what did she do to make sure that she writes her entrance exam into secondary school, even though she was punished for it? The reason why I'm doing all of this is because I believe that by now you have read it, that all of you have read. If you have not read it, please go and read this text. Okay, so another determination is her keeping the 2 shillings and being flogged, I think 52 strokes, by cousin Vincent. And even at that, even in the face of this beating, she still did not tell him where she hid the money, and she eventually used the money for her schooling. Okay, her getting married to Francis and being determined, getting her first job as a librarian and earning well, and she taking up the responsibility that Francis is supposed to take up by taking care of Francis, the husband, taking care of Francis's parents, taking care of Francis's sisters, taking care of her own daughter. Do you understand? Okay. So those are determination. She getting to the United Kingdom and being determined not to be a second-class citizen, even though Francis had already accepted his fate that he's a second-class citizen. She determined that she wasn't going to be a second-class citizen. She wasn't going to reduce herself to becoming a second-class citizen. And of course, it worked for her. She insisted on getting a white-collar job, which she got. She started writing a book, The Brainchild, that the Bride Prize. And basically, she got a house for herself, and all of this just shows her determination, basically. So you are going to end your essay on all of this determination is just to prove a point that women have much more inside of them that they can unleash if they are given the chance to. And so you end your essay that way. I hope you understand. Okay, examine Adah as a wife and mother. Basically, you're talking about the first paragraph, the second paragraph, right? So the third paragraph, because this question is asking you for two things. You're going to consider Adah as a wife first, and then you're going to consider Adah as a mother. Okay, so after your first and second paragraph, which you already know what is supposed to be there, your third paragraph should be Adah as a wife, okay, how that she supports her husband, wanting to become a chartered accountant, and deciding to stay back, that her husband be given preference by going to the United Kingdom and paying for his school fees, making sure that he's, fine, right? Then her loving Francis, even though Francis never loved her back, and her always hoping that Francis will one day come around, right? Okay. And of course, that's her as a wife, filling up the loopholes and all, then being supportive. Then her as a mother, you talk about how she refused to give her children up, even when Francis told her that, oh, that's what they do here, they give their children up, okay, you can also do that, there's no big deal, and she refused. All right. And how that she's so observant of her kids, and how that she noticed that Titi became silent. Titi, her daughter, is a very chatty child, and all of a sudden she becomes silent, and Adah becomes worried that this is not my child, this is not how she behaves on the norms, okay? And she eventually finds out that Titi's silence is linked to Francis not wanting Titi to speak Yoruba anymore. Another point of Adah as a mother is when she gets very, very anxious and when she gets very, very anxious and worried about Vicky's ear infection. She was willing to beat Trudy up, even though she knew that that was a wrong thing to do. As long as you mess with her kids, she's ready to, give it to you, okay, as they hurt, right? So she's really, really, really protective of her children. She caters for their needs, right? Make sure that they get the best when it comes to education and all. And eventually, she puts her children first. There's no point in kids watching their father maltreating. And maybe at the end of the day, them thinking that this is how a typical family is. And so she decides to move her children away from their abusive father, okay, by getting an apartment for herself and her kids. And at the end of the novel, at the court where Francis denied paternity of the kids, she didn't mind. In fact, she did not. And now you can actually even say that as a wife too. When Francis denied paternity of the children and denied Adah and denied ever being married to Adah, Adah still didn't take it up with him. Like, let's just go. You understand? Normally, if it was another person, they would like say, you're going to be punished for this thing that you did for me and my children. You are going to be punished. But Adah didn't do anything. She just wanted that Francis chapter to close, right? And of course, when Francis burnt the birth certificates and the marriage certificates, and Ada does not even have any evidence to prove that Francis is her husband and the father of her kids. She accepted to take care of her kids by herself. So all of this points to all of these points to Ada being an exceptional wife and a mother. I hope I've been able to help in that aspect. And comment on the theme of gender discrimination in second-class citizens. Of course, you already know that Ada, the character of Ada, is used to project the theme of gender discrimination and how that women, girl child, is given a second-class treatment even in our homeland. Okay, how that Ada is deprived of education, how that they feel that getting married to a wealthy person is going to be the only solution. Okay, how they feel that a woman should not be working. Okay, how, so all of this, just get all your points on gender discrimination in other in second-class citizen. But please, here they have said comment on the theme of gender discrimination. That means that your first paragraph, you are not taking another theme. This is the theme that you are talking about, gender discrimination, and you explain it briefly in your first paragraph. And of course, your second paragraph, you explain the character that is closely connected to this theme, and the character is Ada. So you are talking about Ada. You are describing Ada in the second paragraph, and then your third paragraph, your fourth, and the rest of the paragraph, you are bringing out the gender discrimination and how Ada is used to project this gender discrimination. I hope that you've learned one or two things from this video. I hope so. If you have any question, if you have any contribution, please feel free. I'm also learning. Please, no one is an island of knowledge. I also want to learn from you. If you are also a teacher like me, please drop your contribution and let us all learn from each other. Till I come your way in the next video, stay safe. Bye.